Okay, so Claude, this is mainly for you because you are so far away in Israel. And actually, when you're away, I give you more showroom than when you're here, because when you're here, you like stay away, you know. But anyway, I don't want to get into that because both of you always say, "No, Dad, I always try and we always spend time with you, so much time with you, so much time with you." Well, okay, that's according to you. But anyway, so I've got a story to tell you which I heard from two stories actually, from Rabbi Pesach Kron, which are quite amazing stories, and apparently it's in the latest book that he's written. So I'm gonna buy that book when I'm in Israel, because I really like his stories. So the first story is actually a story which is, all these stories are true stories which he's heard and he's verified. So okay, it's all true. So this is a story of a group of people in a synagogue, a Sephardi synagogue in Israel. Don't know where exactly, but basically what happened is that every morning the group of about 15 men would get together and learn Torah for 45 minutes before they would start Shacharit, which was at 7:15. But there was a sixth, and they learned Torah. They learned whatever they learned, I don't know. But there was a 16th man who wasn't so good at learning and didn't really enjoy the learning, but he recognized the value of the Torah learning. So what he would do is that he would go there and basically go there earlier even and make sure that he made tea and coffee for everybody. And there were 15 people who all had 15 different requests. So he wrote them all down and he had this chart. So he knew exactly what everybody wanted, with sugar, without sugar, tea, coffee, black, whatever, all these things. And he made sure it was done. So when they arrived there at 6:30, everybody got their coffee and tea. And he had one little peculiarity, is that he only made a half a cup. And some of the people would say to him, "But excuse me, I want a full cup." "No, half a cup only. Don't ask questions." Okay. So anyway, they all got used to it. They got their half a cup. So one morning he was about to get up and he wasn't feeling that well. So he thought, "I can't go to synagogue today, I'm not feeling well." So he went to his son and he said to his son, "Listen, I can't make it today. Won't you go to the synagogue and prepare everything for the people that are going to be there? There's a list." So you can just follow the list and you'll be able to know what to do for the 15 different people. So the son went, a good son, listens to his father. Not like today's today's generation who don't listen to their parents. Anyway, so he went and he prepared everything. And as he's taking the tray out to the Beit Midrash where everybody's sitting down and learning, he sees his father. So he says, "Dad, I thought you were sick. I thought you weren't coming." He says, "Yes, I know, but I forgot to tell you something. Only make half cups." So the son said to him, "Are you serious? I've done everything now. They're all full cups." He says, No. He says, no, listen, go back and redo it and make sure it's half cup." So the son says, "Dad, do me a favor. It's nuts. Why do that? What's the issue here? Why have you got such a thing about this half a cup?" So he says, "Look, I'm going to tell you, but you're not allowed to tell anybody else. I'm just telling you so that you can see that I'm not a crazy guy." He said, "Look, in amongst the 15 people that learn, there are two guys who are quite elderly and their hands shake a lot. And if the cups are full, then the coffee and the tea is going to go all over the place. But I also don't want to bring attention to the fact that these guys have got these shaky hands. So I'll just make a half cup for everybody. I don't tell anybody. I haven't even told them. But that way, everybody can have their coffee in peace and quiet. There's no spilling, etc., etc." Isn't that an amazing story of consideration, sensitivity? You always accuse me of not being sensitive. I am sensitive. But sometimes I feel like I need to make a point. So I do it in an insensitive way. But actually, I am sensitive, and I love these stories. I love these stories where people show kindness, not just superficial kindness, but deep kindness, taking into account people's, let's call it not so obvious issues. So that's a beautiful little story. I'll tell you a second story. I see we're on 4:45, so this may go to, let's say, 7 or 8 minutes, but it is interesting. And you can tell these stories on Shabbat if you're not spending it with us. Second story is a story of again, and these are all obviously stories of people that are observant, because only it's only amongst. I mean, obviously everybody's kind, and there's a lot of kindness going on, but the point is this: is that the people of Israel who live by the Torah make it a point of being holy people, which is not just being good. And by the way, holiness has got a few pillars, but one of them is acts of kindness. Acts of kindness. Obviously the other one is Torah and Torah study, and there's truth and justice and peace and all that, and those are all the components. So but there's this family of 7 children, and the parents, obviously 2 parents, 1 man, 1 girl, one woman, and they're not well off. They every day they have to watch their pennies, but every year they go on holiday. But what they do is when they go on holiday, they choose places where they can picnic. I'm not too sure where they stayed. I don't remember him saying where, but basically, and they didn't go to restaurants. They prepared their food. They prepared sandwiches or whatever, and then they basically ate food that they had taken on the trip with them. They didn't have a car, so they would hire one of those SUVs, those minibus SUVs, and they would go on holiday. I think it was for a week. So on the first day, they would have an itinerary, so everybody would know, and they were very excited, and they would go on holiday. They would go. So the first day they went to Netanya by the beach. There was a picnic spot there, and they spent some time there, in the morning there. And the next stop was going to be the Tiberias, Lake Tiberia, which was quite a trip away. I think especially during those periods of Chol HaMoed. I remember, last year when Mami and I decided to go to Tzfat, it was during Rosh Chodesh, Pesach. Chol HaMoed, Pesach. And it took us the whole day to get there. We left in the morning, and we got there, and by the time we got there, all the shops were closed. It took us literally the whole day in the traffic. Anyway, so they have the sandwiches or whatever meal they've taken with them, and then they decide they're now going to go on this trip, and it's quite a long trip. It's a few hours to get to. So the 7-year-old boy says to his dad, I've got to go to the toilet. I can't, And there were no toilets in that area where they were. So the father saw that there was a restaurant not far away, or a few restaurants. So he said, look, let's get in the car, we'll drive there, and we'll see if they'll let us go to the toilet in the restaurant, because we obviously need to go to the loo. So they go to the restaurant, and the father says, says to the person standing there, the person who sort of watches who comes in and out and who seats the people, please, won't you let me take my son to the toilet? We're going on quite a long journey, and there were no toilets where we were, so he needs to go to the toilet. And it was a young girl, so she said, okay, go quickly. And they don't like letting people in who don't buy stuff and who just use the toilet. But anyway, she was nice, and she let them quickly run to the toilet. So takes his son to the toilet, comes out, and as they're leaving and as he's getting to the door, somebody shouts out at him. Somebody happens to be the head waiter. Where are you going? You people are all the same. You all you do is you come here and you use the toilet, and you don't buy anything. Typical secular accusation towards an observant Jew. And he says, and in any case, who said you could go to the toilet? Who allowed you to do that? Now the young girl that allowed the father and the son to do this is standing there, and she's now petrified because she's going to get into big trouble. So the father of the son says, listen, I don't know why you're shouting at me. Okay, we are coming to eat here. And not only are we coming to eat here, we came in so we could eat. My son just needed to go to the toilet, so I took him to the toilet quickly. But not only are we coming to eat here, but there's going to be 9 of us. My 7 children, me and my wife. And we're coming to sit down and have a meal. Now remember, these people didn't have the means to do that. but he felt that he needed to do that, and we'll see the rest of the story later. So anyway, so he calls his wife and the kids, and tells them, that they're going to sit down. She obviously realized that there's a problem or something's wrong, so she says to the kids, listen, you just have one dish and one drink, that's it, because this is not part of our budget. So they sit down, they're busy eating. Of course, the kids have never seen this, so they're really enjoying it because it's like a restaurant food and they're used to other food, and they've never eaten in a restaurant. So towards the end, they see there's a lot of activity like by the kitchen there, and then all of a sudden the waiters and the owner of the restaurant come forward with cakes, desserts. So the father says, oh, sorry, listen, we never ordered this. So they say, no, this is on the house, it's for you. So the father says, what are you talking about? Can you give me the bill? We need to pay, we need to go now. So the owner says to him, by the way, if ever you come here again, it's 50% off. Okay? Whenever you come. So the father says, oh, thank you very much, that's so nice, but we don't, this is not really what we do that often, so we're not going to be here, I don't think, again, or that often. So he says, but anyway, just give me the bill. So the owner says, no, don't worry, it's on the house. So the father says, what are you talking about? We had a meal, we want to pay. So the father says, we have a policy here. We charge people who eat here, but we don't charge malachim. We don't charge angels. He says that the waitress told me just the story. She was crying when she told me. I saw her crying. I went to the back in the kitchen and I saw she was crying there. And she said that she was petrified that she was going to get into trouble because she let you in. And in order not to put her into trouble, you went and did this. And she was crying when she was telling me about this. So there we are. How's that for a story? Now, so there we are. These are just acts of kindness. These are people showing extreme sensitivity to strangers. I'll tell you another story, third story, quickly, which is also first-hand. Which is, that's our neighbor, which is, so anyway, this is from Aubrey Katzif, who told Mommy and I the story. So he was in Israel, I think it was last year, and when he goes to Israel, he's got a list of people that he prays for, either at the Kotel, or sometimes he goes to the graves of certain tzaddikim, and he prays. And he had a particular client who was going through a very tough court case. So he was obviously trying to intercede with Hashem on his behalf. Anyway, he was I think it was at Rabbi Meir's in Tavere, Rabbi Meir's kever, and somebody approached him and asked him for tzedakah, which he gave, and they somehow got talking. I don't remember how they got, but they started talking, and and I think Aubrey said to him, look, this tzedakah, won't you make it in the name of so and so, which was this guy that he was obviously praying for. So the guy who gave tzedakah said, okay, fine, and he walked away, and then he came back after walking about 20 meters, and he said, listen, I'm a teacher and I've got kids, I teach kids, and you know what, we're going to say Tehillim, me and the kids, we're going to say Tehillim for this man. I mean, can you believe this? They're strangers, complete strangers. This is only in Israel. And I know you're going to all be all cynical and say, look, Israel's not like that, but I can tell you now, it is. Just that we're not seeing those things. But there are people like that. And there's a lot of them in Israel. And even outside of Israel, amongst the Jewish people. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to tell you. Those 3 stories, 2.5 stories. Hope you enjoyed it, and Shabbat Shalom.